Okay, I don't have the glitter glove, but you know what I mean. So, the Michael Jackson teaser trailer has been released. All I can say is, yay! I'm happy! But, there's still one problem. One big problem I need to address. Hold on one sec. Now, most of you probably may or may not remember, or obviously don't remember. I made a video before saying, please don't sugarcoat this Michael Jackson movie. And, the way how Jafar Jackson looks, yeah, my greatest fear has finally come true. They are going to sugarcoat this Michael Jackson bioflick film. Okay, I know you guys have been expecting me to do this video last week because that's when the trailer dropped. But unfortunately, for me, I released a teaser trailer of this. That's a film I'm doing. Well, I'll get to that later. But all I just want to focus on why Paris Jackson is mad at this movie. Why is she mad about this movie? Because she was, well, it just didn't give her more creative control on events that actually happened. Like, you know, that's that one thing that happened, you shouldn't sugarcoat that. Or that thing that happened, you shouldn't sugarcoat that. And I know a lot of you have been saying, yeah, that thing I said before about how Michael Jackson grew up, how he grew up in a house with Joe Jackson, which, honestly, I know most of you might say, oh, Joe Jackson, he did a good job, you know, disciplining his kids and stuff like that. Really? So stripping your kids butt-ass naked and spanking them is what you really think is good for your kid? Stripping them shirt, pants, and underwear and spanking them butt-ass naked is the way for them to be disciplined? Well, either way, I mean, judging by what's today's standards, do parents even spank their kids at all? Well, it's none of my business. But anyways, yeah, that was the key thing about kids being spanked. But all I can say is, something like that, and the fact that if they made a mistake, like, oh, they did a dance move, they didn't do it right, and Joe's like, come here! Come here! Now do it right! Yes. I know most people might be saying, well, Joe did keep, you know, Michael, Jermaine, the rest of them, you know, in line. But yes, I know. But what was Paris Jackson's biggest complaint? How they are sugarcoating this thing. When you know, anybody who knew Michael Jackson, like Macaulay Culkin, Chris Tucker, or people who have passed, or people who have known Michael Jackson during those times, yes, you probably are saying to yourselves, you shouldn't sugarcoat it. But that's the idea that they're going for. They're trying to sugarcoat how Joe Jackson raised him. How Michael just didn't have a childhood. How the Pepsi commercial set Michael's hair on fire and, you know, caused him to wear wigs the rest of his life. But yeah, have you really noticed that about Michael Jackson when he was alive? How he looked like he was always wearing a toupee? Yeah, you probably might be wondering, you know, Michael Jackson looks like he's really looking like he's wearing fake hair. Why? Because his hair got caught on fire, guys! And you're trying to say, oh, we should sugarcoat that. No! You shouldn't sugarcoat that. That's not something to sugarcoat. And also, if those of you haven't learned what sugarcoat is, here's the word, look it up, and Google it. And know what it actually means, dude. Because some people, they're like, I just didn't know what sugarcoating really meant. Basically playing this whole thing into more lighthearted tone. Like taking something that was real and make it more fantasy, which I understand. Films are more like, escapism, escaping reality and stuff like that. That I understand. But something like Michael Jackson, that's not something you want to sugarcoat. And yes, there was a mention on this might get a part 2. This should get a part 2. Because they got to mention the 1993 allegations, the 2003 allegations, and of course, his death when he was making This Is It. But yeah, guys, that's just the one thing I just wanted to talk about. If they're sugarcoating this, I think I agree with a couple of people. They're going to try to make the story more lighthearted, less grounded, and less unrealistic about what really happened to Michael Jackson. But so yes, I know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they go into more details. Maybe they'll ignore the bullshit documentary that they're still getting a part 2 up and running on. Maybe they did, maybe they have. But all I can say is, this is something I was afraid of. And Paris Jackson, I doubt you're watching this. I really seriously doubt you're watching this video. But I don't agree with what they're doing to your father's legacy, paying it more lighthearted and less, the way how they're doing it for this film. But otherwise, Jafar Jackson, I do agree he does look like Michael. He sounds like Michael. But that's just one thing. It's the nose. I don't know if you guys remember this, but every time I see Jafar Jackson with that obviously plastered nose, there's just one song that pops up in my head that I haven't heard in a long time from the late 90s. I can't say for shit, but all I can say is the one Michael Jackson impersonator, yeah, the guy who's saying he's jealous that he wasn't picked to play Michael Jackson. All I can say is, well, I hate to quote Justin, but, cry me a river. So either way, that's all I can say for right now. I will be releasing the official trailer of Space Human Warrior Episode 1 this Monday. So don't worry, and also I should let you guys know this ahead of time for next month. Next month, I'm going on a vacation. So I probably might not have internet access, maybe Wi-Fi access or anything, because don't want to tell you guys where I'm going, but I will show you somewhere around the beginning of January next year. I'll show you the pictures, and hopefully if I can make a video. So with that being done and said, Alex Holiday, or should I say Vertical Spy, outro. And one last comment I want to mention. The person you see in the end of this video is the real Steve Blum. Voice of Spike, Tom, and many other voice acting characters he's done. So definitely listen to him when he says, Steve?
Yo, Steve Blum here, voice of Spike Spiegel. Remember to subscribe and get vertical.